Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. This is the last live post-match of 2024, and you are going to enjoy it unless you support Manchester United, because Newcastle United have just left Old Trafford with a first win since 2013. 2-0, should have been about 6-0 in all fairness. We're going to get stuck right into this in a minute. I'm buzzing. Marcus jumped on. He's buzzing. Everybody's buzzing. Get stuck up your Manchester United. They were rubbish and we were class. Mark, how are you getting on?
Amber, it's always fun watching Manchester United get beat at Old Trafford. Let's face it. I don't care. There are 19 teams in the Premier League that love to see what's just happened at Old Trafford. So,
chef's
yeah, I know we'll get into it. The first half performance was exceptional. Second half was but job done.
Result is a result. We're going to get stuck right into this. We'll talk about the game, look at the lineup, talk about the key moments. If that's the kind of thing you guys like, smash subscribe. Help get us to the next milestone. It's 10K for us, what we're aiming for. We're finishing the year nearly at 9,200. Thanks to all you wonderful people in the chat for getting us there, recommend us to family and friends. So we're buzzing about that. Brilliant year for us. Not so good for Manchester United. Sorry, I did it again. I'm going to do it loads tonight. I tell you right now I am. But let's get stuck in there, Mark. And we're live tonight. Jump in the chat, guys. A few of you already jumped in there. We'll get your comments in a second. So let's put up the lineups, Mark, and show how the two sides lined up, really, which was absolutely hilarious, to be fair. So Newcastle United were unchanged from the very impressive win against Aston Villa on Boxing Day. And Manchester United, oh my days, Manchester United thought it was a good idea to bring the cast of Cocoon together in the centre midfield in the shape of Casemiro and Eriksen, who the commentator even said had a combined age of, I think, about 65, which was really, really funny to me and to a lot of people, I'm sure, watching. And many people, including Manchester United fans, probably thought this is not a good idea. And oh boy, howdy, were they right, mate. Within 4 minutes of the game, not even that, probably in about 10 seconds of the game, Bruno Guimaraes and Tonali were passing around these two old wankers like they were taking the piss in the care home with a bottle of pills, just chucking it between each other, trying to wind the old fellas up. It was shocking. The level of movement for the Manchester United midfield was so fucking bad. I thought a pigeon was going to land on one of their heads and shit on them. They were that slow. It was, honestly, mate, it was amazing to watch. It was absolutely amazing. And then we get the goal, 4 minutes in. It's a beautiful ball over the top from Bruno Guimaraes, lofted over one of the granddads out at Lewis Hall, who then whips in a delicious cross. Alexander Isak jumps in between two useless centre-halves, heads it in the back of the net, 1-0 up, mate. And honestly, that ground, you could just feel the life being sucked out of the ground. And the pain in Gary Neville's voice was like a sweet song I want to play and repeat over and over again. It was gold, mate, wasn't it? It was absolute gold.
It really was. I mean, I know that cross takes a little deflection, but I mean, it's a great run from it. It's a great ball out wide to find him. As much as they were trying to find an offside in that, he was absolutely nowhere near offside.
No chance.
Absolutely nowhere near. And Isak's header was perfect. You know, he heads it down completely just to take it away from the goalkeeper. And it just, what a start. And really it was, the writing was on the wall straight away from that, wasn't it? You genuinely looked and just went, this could be anything tonight.
Absolutely. Super chatting from Dan. Thank you very much, Dan. How are the fucking lads? Stiff the mank wanks. Absolutely. They got even better after that, because almost a carbon copy after that goal. I mean, we were all over them. We were passing around them. We were pulling them out wide. Gordon was taking the piss. He was dancing around our players. Lewis Hall was overlapping. It was unbelievable. And then we get another chance again. The ball comes in. This time it's Joelinton. And I thought, what the hell has he hit that with? It was quite funny. This whole goal was hilarious. I'll explain the whole scenario here. So I'm watching the game in the living room. And the wife wasn't watching the game. She was watching some on the tablet because she doesn't really bother with the game. And then the ball goes in. And I says, fucking hell, we scored again, right? And she went, did he hit that with his head? And I said, I think he hit it with his face. And it kind of looked like he hit it with his shoulder. And Gary Neville's absolute, determination that this was going to be ruled out for handball, just to hear him completely disappointed and deflated. It was like a balloon just going like that when he realised that it wasn't going to be ruled off for handball. And it wasn't handball, was it, Mark? It hit him in the shoulder and it went in the back of the net, so it wasn't even up for debate.
Sort of here-ish t-shirt. Yeah. Well above the t-shirt.
And Sky even pulled up the fucking graphic of the handball thing just to try and prove that Man United was screwed and they couldn't prove it, which is even better.
I think the one of the comments I think from earlier on, I think is from Ian somewhere. There we go. Gary Neville.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So good.
I mean, those are the things you. I mean, if you pay for Sky Sports, those are the kind of things you love to get on TV when you've paid for it. To see Gary Neville deflate and look, and it just sounds so lost.
Disenchanted he sounded, mate. It was beautiful.
Just wonderful to see. Wonderful to see.
Oh, it absolutely was. It was the best part as well. So on the replay of the goal, so Casemiro was walking away, and my wife went, he's a bit fat to be a footballer. She didn't even have to tell me, right, who she was talking about. I knew exactly who she was talking about. It was obviously old Fatty Miro as well. He probably wishes he wasn't on the park at that particular point. Super chat from Stanley. Thank you very much for that, bud. Get in, lads. Fucking happy new year. You two lads have helped me get through a lot this year. Keep it up. What a win. Congrats on 9K. Well, thank you very much, buddy. And we're really glad that we've been able to help you get through some tough shit, because shit is tough these days. And just for a moment, I'm going to be a bit nice here to Manchester United, right? I know it's very rare on this episode. I'm not going to be nice to them very long, but this one particular moment I thought was a little bit harsh. So obviously after Manchester United realised they're getting absolutely battered by Tonali, Guimaraes, and Joelinton, and the two granddads are in midfield. Amarin decides. And to be fair, Mark, you said this was his mistake in the first place. He decides to hook off a player to bring on Kobe Mainoo, which actually gave them a lot more energy, we both felt, in the midfield after that. But he takes off Xerxes, I think, on the 33rd minute. And I felt a bit sorry for the kid, Mark, to be honest with you, because he's only been there 6 months. He's a fairly young player. The guy who signed him has been sacked. And the whole of Old Trafford booed him. And apparently to come out, he kind of went down the tunnel and he grabbed his coat and he went straight down the tunnel. And even Neville said he couldn't blame the lad. And apparently he was a little bit emotional by it, a little bit taken aback by it. And I know we get carried away with football, but it's not an easy time for a player to come from a different country, to come and play for a club with that level of expectation, which is a complete dumpster fire. There's loads of stories about his I think his agent trying to get him a move out of the club. So he's clearly not happy there. And that I think, the Man United fans took it out on the wrong person there, because I don't think it was really Xerxes' fault. He's not the guy who picked two pensioners in midfield. That was the manager, and he kind of got a little bit of abuse. Now, I did feel a bit sorry for the lad, mate, to be honest with you, in that one.
Yeah, I mean, I agree in that. I think the Amarin got it completely wrong. Those two in midfield, I mean, they were going to have a nightmare with the ability to move the legs and the passing ability of Bruno and Tonali on their own. It was always going to be difficult, even 2 against 2. But to throw Joelinton into that mix with the energy that he's got, the physical ability he's got, they were on a hide into nothing straight away. And I genuinely don't understand what he was thinking throwing those two in to that midfield, other than maybe to prove a point to the hierarchy, to go, look, this lot of shit, we need to get rid of them, or we need to replace them in January and as quickly as possible. But
The Rock says he's going to Juventus, which is probably about right, in all fairness, mate. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think do you know what? He's a good player. He's completely wasted in that sort of system. I don't think it will work for him there. He's not an out and out number 9. He's not a wide player. He's not going to play in that real system. I don't think. And I feel sorry that he was the scapegoat, I think, tonight. That felt harsh on him, especially because it's down to the manager. But you know what? And it's brought about by the fact that Newcastle were on fire to start that game, and they rightly took Man United apart. And it is Manchester United, and despite what Sky keeps saying, It's not United. There were two of them playing tonight.
Yeah,
you
Manchester
can't talk
United.
about United and a game when both of them are playing. Fuck's sake.
Well, to be as Tim said, and every single Geordie said in the ground as well, you've seen United, now fuck off home, which is exactly what they got in all fairness. And there was the best chant of the evening, Tim. But I mean, Newcastle should have really been 3-4 in the look mark before the end of the first half. We have chance after chance. Tonali has that chance where he stabs at it. You know, I think Isak's got a couple of chances. That one-on-one, fucking hell, what was he doing with the one-on-one? It's a beautiful ball over the top. And what is it? Like, one-on-ones are like Alexander Isak's fucking kryptonite. He's like, you know, remember that movie Troy with Brad Pitt with Achilles in the bad heel? That's fucking Isak's Achilles heel. You know, obviously I do realize it was Greek mythology, not just a movie before someone gives me shit. You know, he goes through one-on-one and you're like, what are you doing? What are you scooping it for? Then, you know, seconds later when he's offside, and he takes Onana's head off with a great strike. And I thought, that's what you should have done before. So that was my only frustration, that, you know, we keep letting teams off the hook. They should have been 5-0 down, man, at half time, and there would have been no fucking argument whatsoever.
Well, there's that. There's the Tonali one off the post. How on earth he misses that is beyond me. There's the offside goal. I think that's fair enough. The initial pass, he's not. The second one, I think
great finish though, mate. It was a great finish though, to be fair.
But this is it. When he goes through one-on-one, and you just think, put your laces through it. At that point, because he's done that horrible little chip a couple of times, and goalkeepers have just stood there bewildered that he's done it. Just lace it. You've got the ability to do it. Just do it. Put your foot through it in that position. Just take a chance. Hit the target properly.
Yeah, ridiculous, man. But just so much quality play in that first half. I know Manchester United were bad, but we made them look bad. You know, just the midfield control and the overlaps with Gordon and Hall again. You know, Lewis Hall again, just so good on the ball, comfortable, defensively brilliant as well. I mean, SofaScore had him as man of the match. You know, we'll get into our man of the matches in a minute. But Lewis Hall, I thought, again, just incredible. It takes me back to that was it the lad from the Stretford podcast, I think it was, one of the stuff with Rio Ferdinand, the lad that I said looks like he would be a black cab driver in Manchester who wasn't a content creator, and he was mocking Newcastle for dropping 28 million quid on Lewis Hall rather than signing Matsuri that they signed, and who was a better player tonight, Bonnie lad? You tell me. Answers on a postcard, mate. But we've got a couple of congratulations to make, not just the Newcastle players, but Chippers has been a member for 2 months. Thanks a lot for that, Chipper. Anyway. Was that our easiest game at Old Trafford ever? 100%, mate. I was actually saying, I was in the Toon Review chat. I know the lads did a great job again tonight on the commentary. I watched them for free match mark. I couldn't bear watching Sky. And somebody duly told me all they did was talk about Liverpool pretty much for the entire build-up, which doesn't surprise me in the slightest. And then probably a little bit about Man United's woes, and then a little bit about Newcastle being on form, and I imagine for about 3 seconds. But the lads did a great job. And I said in the chat, I've never seen us dominate Manchester United like that since we beat them 5-0 at St James's Park. And even then, they played better that night than they played tonight because they had better players.
Yeah, I think you probably certainly that first 40 minutes.
It's as good as I've seen us against Man United.
I want to come to that second half because I thought
we'll get there.
Newcastle lost control of the game in the second half, and not to a point where I was ever worried that Manchester United were going to get something out of it. But I thought there was a lack of control of the game in that second half. But that first half was as comfortable a game as I've seen them play, definitely Old Trafford in forever. I can't remember enough. Even the 3-0 last year in the cup.
The cup
last year.
Yeah, it wasn't as easy as that. It wasn't as easy as that tonight. Not the first half, anyway.
But look. To be fair, Manchester United came back into it. They got a grip of it. They were allowed to. Newcastle sat off them. I think too much. Just that level of intensity went.
It took the foot off the throat a bit, maybe. We pulled it back. I thought,
there was a bit later on when I thought that's better. There's a bit of control. Newcastle were passing the ball around, just keeping it away from them and not allowing them to get any sort of momentum again. And it was. I thought that was much better to see, but there was too much sloppiness in that second half. A little bit more. It's weird when you consider the goal ratio over the last sort of 5 games. I sort of wanted to see a little bit more ruthlessness and going for the throat. I genuinely, I mean, you could really have gone 4-5, and it wouldn't have flattered them. But it's, look, at the end of the day, a 2-0 win away at Old Trafford is not something we see every year.
Apart from this season, where you see it pretty much every other
exactly.
Week. Not for us, though.
But you take off another 3 points, another clean sheet. Shout out to Dubravka again for keeping another clean sheet.
Brilliant.
And
Dan Burn tonight again. Dan Burn class tonight. Absolutely class.
Yeah,
I thought,
absolutely right.
Hoyland actually worked hard, I felt, on his own up there. And Ahmad looked a bit lively at times. I thought Cher and Burn both did a really good job against him. Obviously, Cher's been booked. That's him out with Spurs. We'll get into that in a second. But I thought the defender did really well. Trippier did well. For his hammy went as well. I thought he looked good again. And Tino looked good when he come on too. So yeah, defensively sound.
Definitely. I thought Trippier led really well tonight. You could
very calm.
I think somebody put in the comments, and even that general sort of performance. He really was a leader, and really disappointing. I think that obviously with his second game to then to have done his hamstring. Hopefully that's just nothing more than a twinge.
He's not fit though. He's not fully fit. You can tell he's still kind of coming back to it. We've got another congratulations there. Tarek has been a member for a month. Thank you, Tarek. Appreciate that, bud.
Thank you.
Getting lads could have been more, absolutely. And Graham Ritchie is generous with the super chat. Poor Gary just cried your soup. Happy New Year to everybody. He was absolutely livid, Graham, which was meant to see, to be brutally honest with you. And Formal Dan has gifted another more membership. Thank you very much, Formal Dan.
Thank you, mate.
Really appreciate that. We're all muckarashers in the chat as well. Manchester United were absolutely shocking tonight. I've been all seeing this, but we made them look bad. Even worse, especially in that first opening hour. Absolutely. Chris is saying that the vote is open for the NUFC app on Man of the Match. We'll get that stuck in then, Mark. I mean, because we kind of wrapped it up anyway. Really, we had a few chances in the second half. Lewis Hall gets a couple of good chances through, fires over the bar. Just like Lewis Hall just lacks that pace, doesn't he? Like if he had that pace, he'd be like Gareth Bale. So he's about to have something missing from his game, but he just lacks that little bit of pace. But I thought Lewis Hall was class again tonight. I mean, some of the guys have chucked in some of their man of the matches there in the comments as well. I think Big Dan Byrne for Marcus, he says. George says Hall for his man of the match. I think there's a few other shouts up here. Baz is saying Bruno. I'm with Baz, mate. Bruno for me, Mark, for man of the match. I know Isak got it on Sky Sports, which shouldn't surprise anybody because they always give it to the big name player and the goal scorer. But Bruno was my man of the match, Mark. Who was yours? Well, I'll pull up a few other names there, mate.
I mean, I sort of torn between Bruno and Hall because I thought Hall was excellent. Dan Byrne, I mean, just talk about, given his height, you expect him to win his aerial duels and stuff. Unbeaten on the ground tonight, 6 out of 6 ground duels he won. I suppose it's who he's up against, but look, Hoyland does put himself about a little bit. I
know, Philip. There was only a little bit of leftover festive cheer, mate. I think I just felt sorry for the kid. He won't be a Man United player any longer, I don't think, come January, mate. But Ian says Carragher's wanking off Isak. There's a shock.
Well, no, I know, but fair enough, to be honest with you, because he was excellent. That little bit of skill the second half as well, where he dragged it through about 3 players and.
Lovely.
Oh, yeah.
Some lovely little flicks and back heels and 1-2s in the first half in particular. So who's your man of the match? You were rambling again. Who was your man of the match?
Well, yeah, I sort of was rambling on. I'm torn between Hall and Bruno. I think I'll give it to Bruno just because I thought he today sort of took a step on from where Tonali's been great over recent weeks where he's ran the midfield. I thought he put himself all over the place. That tackle towards the end as well that he launched into
brilliant.
Just and
then he gets up and he knocks it through and
everything about his performance tonight was brilliant. And I sort of a little bit harsh on Hall because I thought he was excellent too. But I think Bruno, for me, was just a little level above.
Absolutely. Well, Andy's saying he's pleased with 1, but it wasn't great. Poor concentration. They should have had 3 goals. Also, share man. So, I don't disagree with Andy there. To be fair, I think the first half an hour really was dominant. I think that's what separates us, Mark, as I said there, from probably being that next level. Is taking those chances. when we're on top like that with a team that's confidence is so dinted, like Manchester United, where you could feel the anxiety in that ground. We've been where those Man United fans have been. We've been that club where the early goal goes in and everybody's fucking soul just drains out their body. And you're thinking this could be 5 or 6-0, this. And had we taken those chances, if we'd gone in 3-4-0 up at half time, half that ground would have been gone. They'd have fucked off home, and that would have killed Manchester United's momentum, absolutely killed it. So, I mean, I just felt, as much as Andy's made a point there, and Cher has been a bit sloppy with passes, obviously he gets into a bit of a wrestling match with Højlund and gets the yellow card and he's suspended for Spurs, which is disappointing. But he did have some good moments, Cher. I think his tackling, and the way he stuck to Højlund. Højlund's not a bad player. He's still a very young centre forward, and I think he's maybe being put in a really difficult position, leading the line for Manchester United, which is a big responsibility, no matter how shit they are. And he's not the finished article by any stretch of the imagination. He's the kind of player, Højlund, I think if he left Man United and went somewhere else where he got looked after and support, he might turn into one of the best strikers in Europe. Because he's got ability, there's no doubt about that. And he shared to stick close to him today, and obviously he gets the yellow card. But I just felt, looking at Manchester United, I just didn't feel threatened by them. Højlund again was getting tussled up with the defenders. Ahmed looked lively, but I just felt Gordon was there to help Hall. Joelinton was there to help Gordon. And I just felt, and I think even Gary Neville said it when he wiped the tears away from his fucking eyes. Every time Tonali and Bruno got on the ball, they just killed the game. When they said, right, give us the ball, Man United had nothing. Even when Mainu came on, they had nothing, Mark. And to dominate Manchester United Old Trafford like that, regardless of what version of Manchester United this is, that's a big thing for Newcastle United. A level to be at where we can dominate Manchester United Old Trafford like that, regardless of how poor they've been.
Yeah, I said it. I mean, it's not something that happens every year. I mean, it's when was the last one in the league? It was 2013. So
2013. Yeah, it was.
You take them when you can get them, and they are abysmal at the moment.
Sorry. By the way,
honestly,
George,
that was just brilliant. Yeah, loved it. Absolutely loved it.
If Soccer AM was still going, that would make it into the clip show, wouldn't it? The showboat.
It's your showboat or your third eye, whatever it was that went on. It was, but no, look, it's the kind of thing that the whole fear factor of
it's gone. It's gone.
Of Old Trafford is completely
gone.
Dissipated now. There isn't that there. And we've spent the best part of 30 years being terrified of going, and for every team, really, terrified.
Apart from Arsenal and City and Chelsea and Liverpool, those kind of teams, everyone else has been shit scared of it.
But there isn't that hoodoo anymore, and I think that results like this just say to look, you can go there now without the fear of you're almost a goal behind before you've even kicked off, because there was always that well, we never win it at Old Trafford. They always get a result. There's always something. There's always a penalty. I mean, how many times have they been given stupid penalties? There's always something that goes on that they get. There isn't that now, and what I'm really pleased to see about from particularly from this result is just going in there with the momentum from the previous games and not going, oh, hang on a second. It's just going and taking advantage of the form that you're in and going and putting your foot down straight away and going, right, we're going to get it straight into them, get them a goal down, get the crowd on their back. And that's exactly what it was. And it was wonderful to see.
Confidence, belief, and execution. That's what it was. And when your players are like that, confidence is there, believing in their own ability, believing in each other, and they executing it. And if we'd execute the chances that we should have done, 5-0, easily 5-0 half time. Comment there from Golden Banjo DJ. It's a good thing, actually. People have mentioned it's a good point, Mark, being the goalkeeper of the channel. There's a correlation between clean sheets and Pipe being away. I don't know if that means something else. Are we better off with a better footballing goalkeeper? Now, this is actually where Man United were when they got rid of De Gea, which obviously doesn't work for them. But I've seen a lot of people say this. Now, I will caveat it before you get in, Mark, is Dubrav create the long-term answer? There's been links to Kelleher, obviously, at Liverpool, which we will do a rumour has it on in the next few days. But do you think we need a goalkeeper who's a bit better, passing it back like we were tonight? A lot of the times it went back to Dubravka, he took a touch, he found a pass. Pope necessarily doesn't be as composed as that.
They don't play those passes.
No, they don't.
If Pope's in goal, a lot of those passes don't go back.
Nope.
Because
and do we put ourselves under more pressure? They lose the ball. And
well, I've said that right the way through last season and some of the season before. To be fair, that it's noticeable. And the one I sort of brought up, I remember going back to the Man City game last season, and there was a moment where I actually can't remember who the player was that went to go and pass the ball back, and you could almost see the penny drop going, shit, Pope can't do it. So turned around and lost the ball. And there's that fear factor when you're playing as a defender to turn around and go and pass the ball back, knowing that the guy behind you can't pass the ball. And his first touch is abysmal. As good a goalkeeper as Nick Pope is, and I'm not going to dig him out because he's been excellent, but he is a liability on the deck and the ball going back to his feet because his first touch is awful. And he can't hit a pass 2 or 3 yards without. I mean, there was one to Trippier the other week where it was a 3-yard pass and he mishit it by about 1.5 yards. So Dubravka's a little bit more comfortable. He's not great, but he is better. Sorry, that's exactly what it was.
I'll just give it there. Yeah.
But yeah, that confidence of sharing Burn and even Hall to go back to the goalkeeper at times and just reset. And allow, and Dubravka's got that little chip ball out sort of left that he likes to play out towards Hall. And he mishit a couple tonight, but generally speaking, he's been pretty spot on. And it just adds another element to Newcastle's defence where they can recycle the ball that way and start again. And long term, he's not the answer because of his age and the fact that he does still have a rick in him at times. I'm still not completely convinced by him, despite the fact that he's now got 3 clean sheets on the spin. Is it 4 on the spin now in the league, isn't it?
I think there's 4 clean sheets.
So four on the spin in the league. So to be fair to him, so look, long term, no, he's not going to be the answer. He is going to be away at some point, probably soon. Kelleher, I think, yes, there is that. I know there's still the talk around James Trafford. I know you don't like that one bit, but those 2 in particular are better with their feet and will give you that confidence to be able to recycle the ball backwards as well.
Well, I think Dubravka might possibly sign maybe a pre-contract with someone in January, maybe leave in the summer, and then that'll leave us a good opportunity to play him until Pope's back, and then maybe get someone like Kelleher in the summer. Great comment from Bobby there. Sat at the United end with his missus, who's a Liverpool fan, was something else. Their fans do 75 minutes is something to behold. So proud of this team. Superb, Bobby. I bet you had the old jacket zipped up, giving it the old shoulder shrug, mate. Fucking superb. Absolutely love it. Chipper's has jumped in with a super chat as well. Thank you very much, Chipper. He said, what is the similarity with Katie Price and Man United? Both are open at the back. Oh, my God. And Dwight York was also...
You started this the other week, so...
I did. It's my fault. I was going to say as well, Chip, as also Dwight York was naked around them quite a lot, to be fair, probably as well. That's probably another similarity. Cynical Jim has been a member for 3 months. Thank you very much, Cynical Jim. Hall was class again tonight, but who takes Cher's place? Now, that's interesting. We had a little chat via WhatsApp, you and I, Mark, about this, and I think it's too early for Botman. We both agreed, I think. And you don't want to injure Botman either. You don't want to have a relapse of that injury that he had. I think it's most likely to be either Burn and Kelly, or possibly if Trippier's hamstring is not as bad as we thought, does he move Tino inside? Has he done that before at centre half? And does he play Trippier right back? What's your thinking? Who takes Cher's place? Just kind of it's fresh.
I think naturally you go with you. You have to go with Kelly. I think it's so. Too much of an ask to move. I mean, unless you were going to play, I guess if you were going to go with a 3 and you had 2 other centre backs and you moved Tino to the right side of a 3, but there isn't the 3rd centre back, so you can't do that. No. So I think naturally you have to go Burn and Kelly. Hopefully Botman then returns probably to the cup. He might get some minutes in the Spurs game. Mm-hmm. We know he's back. We know he's played. You've got to be really careful with him, not throwing him in for 90 minutes too early, because the last thing you want to do is him sitting on the sidelines for another 6 months.
Yeah, I think he'll start against Bromley, is what I think, and that's probably what they'll keep him for. To be fair, so we've got another super chat thing from Dan. So we beat them 2-0 despite the ref's best efforts. Absolutely, Dan. And thanks for that again, buddy. Richard saying, "What's the crack with Rashford?" Funny with this one. So Rashford does not want to be at Manchester United. All the Man United fans and content creators were losing their minds before this game. He didn't want to be there. He had to call him back to the squad. He had no intention of bringing him on. You could tell that. He was warming up and he was running up and down. He didn't look like he wanted to be there, Rashford. He was absolutely sick. And what made me laugh, and I said this to you, Mark, that complete gobshite tit of a commentator, Pete Drury, the shit that was falling out of that bloke's face, man, in the commentary with Sky was absolutely ridiculous. The way he was talking about Manchester United, he didn't talk about how good Newcastle were. He just kept talking about bad, Manchester United were. It was probably Gary Neville that was praising us more than anything, which was ironic, the fucking Man United legend. And then when he was talking about Rashford, so I don't know if you saw, there was one point in the game, right? The game was going on. We took a throw in. The game was going on. And the Sky Sports cameras stayed on Anthony getting undressed and then Rashford sitting on the bench while the fucking game was going on. And you were like, what the fuck are you lot doing? And then he was talking about Rashford warming up. And he just talks utter shit. He's the biggest fucking fraud in the media, Pete Drury. They got rid of Martin Tyler because they thought he was losing his marbles. And they put this fucking dickhead in to his place who spouts the biggest pile of shite I've ever heard in my life. He opens his mouth and just a river of piss just flows out. It could wipe out a small fucking village. The amount of shit that flows out of this bloke's mouth. And he turned around, he was talking about Rashford, he went, he remains a coiled spring. I thought, coiled spring? What, on a fucking clapped out motor that's pulled in the lay-by that's broke down, you thick twat. Like, he's been dog shit all season. Who are you talking about? He's not talking about Kylian Mbappe, who's a little bit off form here. He's talking about a bloke who does not want to be at that football club anymore. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? If I could be asked, I would report them to Ofcom, and my reason would just be they're shite at their jobs. I don't think Ofcom would do anything about it. This is the reason why people watch fan-led media, because people give an honest opinion. If we were shit tonight, I'd be here saying we were shit, and I'd tell you why we were shit. I wouldn't just talk about players who are shit and say they're suddenly brilliant. It was cringe. To quote that horrible show that I don't like either, it gave me the ick, Mark, is what it did. It gave me the ick. Fucking shite as well.
He's not. He has his moments, Drury. I think if you go back through his catalogue of sort of commentaries, there are some brilliant ones.
There's not. But I disagree.
He's been awful and
dreadful.
The whole Marcus Rashford thing. I think if you see some of the Man United, I nearly fell into that trap myself.
That's a yellow card. No. Everybody give Mark a yellow card in the chat for that.
Yellows in the chat for me, please. Thank you very much. But if you watch some of their content, you see an awful lot of the stuff that it says he's been a problem for multiple managers. He's been just really difficult to work with, and for such a talented kid, when I say kid, he's what, 27 now, I think. It's really, really disappointing to see for somebody who could be that good. I'm not sure that's warrants 2 yellows, George, to be fair.
Has he done it twice? Has he done it twice, George? Keep him in line, mate. I tell you, you've used more cards than that fucking referee did tonight. How many tackles did he let go tonight, the referee? Man United should have about 7 players booked as well, but he is a twat, Mark. Just to kind of cut across you a little bit, mate. Comment there from Neil. Rest in peace, Mike. Yeah, and amongst all of this kind of excitement and adulation about this good result at Old Trafford, there was a horrible news that Mike Newbury, former Newcastle player, died at the age of 27. Tragic, horrible, no age to check out at all. And our thoughts are with obviously Mike's family and friends this tragic time, Neil. And good shout, mate, because just awful, mate. Thank you very much for putting that in the chat, mate. Just horrible stuff, mate.
Yeah, I mean, it was earlier today. I think it was. It was,
yeah.
And what it's youth team and sort of the low ranks, but it's just awful. It's just, 27.
No age to go, mate. Just terrible.
No, exactly.
And the club obviously posted about him as well, which was a really nice touch from their club as well. Because sometimes those players slip through the cracks and people tend to forget about them. I think whoever is doing the club socials at the minute has a real good knack of being respectful for things like that. And big respect to them as well.
on a lighter note, and to go from one thing to another, I've even had a yellow card off the missus. Thanks, Cheryl.
That's because she's at the front door and you haven't let her in. She's fucking locked out. She's braying on the door now, mate. You're actually going to go check, aren't you? You're going to go check as well. Jack is saying, would you put Kelly in? I thought he looked decent against Spurs. But I worry about Kelly, but there's really no other choices, Jack, to be brutally honest with you, mate. I just think, as Robert says there, he will pay Kelly. Neil has also said Rashers is on 350 grand a week, which is mental, isn't it, really? It just, to think a player who doesn't want to play is on 350 grand a week, man. Just,
I mean,
wow.
we talked about the possibility of would it be a good deal for Newcastle to go and get him at one point. I think it was last summer, or maybe it's even earlier than that. And talent wise, yeah, absolutely, because I think he's an example. You couldn't now, because he'd be miles behind Anthony Gordon in the pecking order, and it's just not worth it. But just, I mean, he needs a fresh start. Rashford in that is just, it's so frustrating to watch for somebody who's been so good.
Yeah, he can rediscover what he had, but I think if I was him, I'd go abroad. Obviously, like the other Manchester United academy guy, that was a different story altogether. But if I was him, I'd go abroad and then just try and get away from the media too, Rashford, for the good that he's done here. He's now become a target for the media because of the silly things he's done. So I think he needs to get away. But I tell you, talking about somebody who is performing very well, mate. Look who's in the chat. The Toon Review's in the chat. Get the fuck in, lads. Good to see you, Toon Review.
Good evening.
Absolute sterling performance from you guys again tonight, as always. And that's the channel to watch. That's my go-to for pre-match content. Obviously, I can't be on afterwards because I've got to jump on and talk to you wonderful people. But the lads absolutely fucking smash it. And well done. Well done. Marcus has gifted 5 of them more memberships. Thank you very much, Marcus. Always very generous, mate. Always very generous after a win, Marcus. Never after a loss, though, is it, mate? I'm only joking, mate. I'm only joking, mate. You superstar, pal. And George has jumped the bandwagon as well. George has gifted 5 ever more memberships as well, which is superb. Thank you very much, George. GV saying, Chris, don't hold back. I never do, mate. I never do, especially when it comes to idiots in the media who I feel are stealing a living, which, I know a few of you have enjoyed that little mini rant there. But, Pete Drury just honestly gets on my tits. If Pete Drury was doing the eulogy at my funeral, I would die again. I think I would die again. He's just a complete wank. I cannot bear him. Like somewhere Martin Tyler's probably wondering why the fuck, was I replaced by this prick? Actually, just a comment here from Gaza Mack, who was the longest sick note for Newcastle, Owen or Wilson. It's debatable, but on Michael Owen, actually, when I was in the Toon Review chat, right, I don't know whether this is true or not. So Michael Owen must have been doing TV for somebody else. I think he does do that again. I don't know why. I'd rather just, put a microphone in front of a cat, probably have a bit more interesting conversation. But Michael Owen had said, it's very hard for me to say good things about Newcastle. And I thought, has he really said that? I need to dig that clip.
Because you're a massive twat, Michael.
Exactly. But Man United fans don't like you either. Like, no club he played for likes him. I think Real Madrid's about the only one who actually don't mind him because he actually had a good goal record then. He wasn't there long enough for them to realise he's an utter see you next Tuesday. But every other club he's beaten to just don't like him. So, strange.
Yeah, how you can go through so many clubs and have everybody hate you that's some effort. Like, you've got to give him a little bit of credit for that. He's just an absolute donut, isn't he?
He is. He's just an absolute tool. Uncle Buzzcock says Drury's a walloper. He thinks he's Shakespeare. He really, really does. I just don't understand what on earth he was doing. Shawson says Owen was a mercenary. He absolutely was. John says, what a dick Owen is. Pathetic excuse for man. He really was. Just a huge twat, Michael Owen. Yeah, he absolutely was. I just don't understand how he can talk like that. I mean, I always caveat it, right, by saying, because me and you grew up in the era when Michael Owen broke through, and he was brilliant as a player, right? Before his hamstring started to go and he couldn't run, he was brilliant. When he was Michael Owen, Speedy Gonzalez, kind of catch him for shit, a brilliant player, fast as hell, scored goals, a very good footballer. And even when he got his injury, he was still a very good footballer. But he's such a cock as a human being, isn't he? He's got no likability whatsoever. You think about that generation all come through, right? They've all got more likability than he has, right? Rooney has a lot of likability with maybe people he shouldn't have likability with as well, but that's another story for another day. But but they all have a certain level of likability, except Michael Owen, because he's just a ball bag, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's so dull as well. It's so
Ian summed it, mate. Ian summed it, Mark. Sorry, Ian summed it.
That's fine. Yeah, I can't disagree with that at all. He's look how you can be such an exciting footballer and such a dullard. It always astounds me. And that he was sensational when he was a kid, wasn't he? And he broke through into the Liverpool side and then the England side. And honestly, it was breathtaking to watch. I mean, with that hat trick he scored at St James's Park, it was just. I mean, you just have to.
That fucking one! I remember that one.
You just sit back and sometimes go, fair enough. You can't do anything about somebody that's that good. But he's just a massive twat, isn't he? He's a horrible human being now, and look. I mean, his goal record was pretty good.
John's right. That I mean, that goal was different gravy. To be fair, that's one of the best World Cup goals I've ever seen.
I was going to say, I'm not sure I've celebrated a World Cup goal quite so much as that one. It was unbelievable, but yeah, it's just the way you conduct yourself is then the way that then people are going to react to you. When he conducted himself like an absolute arse. No wonder everybody hates him, and no wonder he's got nothing good to say because you were a dick. I mean, that's the long and short of it.
Yeah, it was. Yes, drop the mic, Ian. You have won the message of the night. There is no doubt about that whatsoever, mate. But yeah, I think a lot of people are right there. They're just saying that all the media will do is focus on Manchester United's woes. They'll strip Newcastle United of any real kind of praise. Obviously, we'll talk about it as fan channels. Obviously, the Toon Review would have been talking about it tonight. We're talking about it now. True Faith will talk about it. Gallagher Shots talk about it. Magpie Channel talk about it. We'll all talk about it. We'll all give Newcastle United the credit and the time that they do. I think possibly out of the Manchester United content creators, only Alice will probably give us the credit because she's very good and very honest, and I'm sure she'll be very scathing about Manchester United. I can imagine Goldbridge. I think Trevor said he's going to watch the clips of Goldbridge. He'll probably just get up with his PJs on, have a wobble, and go, "Oh fucking hell! Oh, what are you doing? He's shit!" And all that. And he'll just stomp around the room, and then he'll probably talk about how they won the second half, which is generally what he does. But real content creators who listen and watch and understand. I mean, I was actually watching Flex his preview before the game, and to be fair to him, he said we're nowhere near Newcastle, they'll batter us, and he said we'll win by 2-goal margin. I said 2-0 in the preview, and we should have won by more. So I mean, a lot of the Manchester United fans went into this probably a lot more humble and realistic than they normally are, to be fair, mate. I agree with Stu Mag that Alice would make a better manager, I think, for them than Amarim. She seems to know what she's doing. My only worry would be she try and sign half our squad, mate, I think, because she's a big fan of a lot of what we do. But
there's an awful lot of content about Newcastle players, and that, I mean, that's kind of a higher compliment you can get from
Come to the dark side, Alice. Yeah, come to the dark side, Alice. There's plenty of room for you over here. Come on over here.
Closet Geordie. There we go.
Closet Geordie. But again, I suppose to close it off, Mark, is that is an unbelievable month for Newcastle United in terms of the games that we had ahead of us. We had the easy games in terms of sorry, Lewis likes my Goldbridge impression. It's getting there. It's not as good as my Steve Bruce one, but it's getting there. But in terms of the fixtures ahead of us, we had the three, I suppose, what you call easier fixtures, with Ipswich and Leicester, and then maybe Brentford in the Cup, I suppose. And then now we've come into the harder ones. Villa beat them comfortably. Did the red card play a part? Probably yes, but we were comfortable in the game anyway. Before the red card, we were dominant in the game.
Yeah.
Tonight, dominant in the game. We've got Spurs in the weekend. Obviously, missing shares massive, but wow, like dominant again in the first half an hour. If we've suddenly found our stride, and the players have found their form, and we've got Botman to come back. Louis Miley's still working his way back, match fitness for squad depth as well. Will we add in January, Mark? I mean, the season has gone from being, we're not going to get into Europe or shit, to maybe, hang on a minute, what's happening now? And, this isn't a what's going on, because we've obviously done post-match, but how are you feeling in terms of where we are now? Do you think, two questions, will we add in January? And do you think we can continue this on and maybe finish where we're sitting right now in that lovely table you drew up?
If you'd asked me what was it? Was it I think it must have been the Palace game. I think after the Palace game, I was on the fence at that point, going, well,
So
the way things were going, the way that the side was playing at that point in time, and I know there've been a couple of wins beforehand, but it just felt like on the back of the Everton and Brighton games, and then the horrible game against West Ham, and then a really piss poor draw away at Palace. It really did felt like the season was sort of on the ropes, and you did worry. And I know there was a lot of shit thrown either way. I think of those that sort of thought change should be made or could be, and I was nearly there because there was a worry that I couldn't see a way of turning the corner, but the introduction of Tonali into the center of that midfield has been huge. It's been a massive change. It's seen the best of Bruno. We've seen
definitely,
and I go back to what we've talked about for sort of weeks, is getting the best out. Go back to that first season when Bruno broke in. He was best at playing in that forward sort of central midfield role. He was excellent, and he's back to that sort of playing in and around the edge of the box and getting into those. Oh God, yeah.
I could do that myself.
Okay. Well, there's the next TikTok. Yeah. But
I've got some requests for the goal bridge. I'll have to do it before we sign out. I'll have to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
God, yeah.
But yeah, it was difficult to see, and that change of dropping Tonali into that sort of 6 role and freeing up Bruno has been huge. And the results have come, and it's been almost no surprise of that. But yes, there's an argument to say, look, Leicester and Ipswich, I mean, they were poor on the day, but made to look poor. Look, Ipswich have beaten Chelsea 2-0 tonight. So there's a team in there in Ipswich. Then no, it's not Sheffield United of last year, and it's not Swindon Town of the 90s. They're not that sort of side. But Newcastle made them look poor. Newcastle made Villa look poor for huge parts of that game. And yes, the red card is possibly a factor, but the way that Newcastle started that game, it really put Villa on the back foot and made them suffer. And the red card was just a sort of reaction to that. And then again tonight, you Manchester United side that yes is struggling, but what you want from the side, you want them to go and take advantage of that, and you beat what's ahead of you. You can only play what's ahead of you. You can't play the game against what should be on paper and stuff. It has to be against what's there, and they've gone out and they've done that, and they've won the games you expected to do, and that's exactly what we sort of said. And the test would be after the Ipswich game. We said the test will come against Villa, against Man United, against Tottenham. Those are the next ones, and then the league games after that, you go back into playing against Wolves, Bournemouth, Southampton, Fulham. Now, if you look at the Villa and Man U games, if you sort of said, well, 6 points from 2 of those games, no goals conceded, 5 goals scored, you then go away to a Spurs side that concede goals like nothing I've ever seen. There's the real possibility that those 3 games that we said, that's the next test, and it's probably in those chunks of games, come away with 9 points from those 3 games, and then you go into the cup games, and then you get into those league games, and again you sort of go, well, you can expect to get a lot of points out of that. Then all of a sudden, 5th becomes the possibility of getting back into that top 4 again, and there's the real possibility that the Premier League get 5th place as a Champions League place this season as well. So there's possibly one more place to play for in that regard. But 4th is a possibility. There's 3 points now to Chelsea, but momentum is there and the consistency seems to be back. So I definitely feel that top 5 especially is really there for the taking if Newcastle can continue to do this, and maybe as if they can add 1 or 2 in January.
Absolutely. I mean, I think no team wants to play us probably at the minute. The form that we're in, the quality that we're showing. Isak's absolutely on fire. I know he's getting all applauded because they all want to sign him. But as you said there, Bruno as well, the potential has been unlocked. in Bruno since Tonali has come in that role. And even tonight, again, Tonali just sensational again tonight. You know, there was times where he lost the ball and he was a little bit sloppy again tonight, but again, he just recovers. You know, he makes up for it. He drops in and fills up holes. He makes other players around him just seem calmer and more comfortable on the ball. And again, I will be watching Goldbridge. There's been a couple of people asking me to the Goldbridge impression. I will try another one. I will watch Goldbridge. I can just imagine he lost his mind watching Tonali and Bruno pass it around, you know, Casemiro and Eriksen, who were so poor. I mean, both really good players years ago, but way past the sell-by date. Them two should be earning a fucking pension in Saudi or the MLS, not playing for Manchester United in a game against probably one of the best midfielders in the fucking league at the minute, you know, in those three players. So I can imagine Paul Goldbridge was probably going, I just want to have a turkey sandwich and watch James Bond. This is fucking terrible. Why am I watching this shit? We're shit. That's what he'll probably be saying, I'd imagine. So I did laugh when someone said he's Alan Partridge meets Zippy from Rainbow. So I did used to have a good Zippy.
That's a
good description. I did used to have a good Zippy in the locker. I go, George, we're watching Man United and they're fucking shit, George. You go, Zippy, they're fucking terrible. So there you go. That's my Rainbow impression there. So there you go.
That almost sounded like the Harry Redknapp at the end there.
Yeah, trophy little player. Yeah, Zippy, trophy little player. The old arm in the window down there, mate. Yeah, Kev's loving a bit of Zippy, absolutely class. John's happy, he's 8 Stellas in, and I've given him a Goldbridge, so he's in there. But yes, it is a tough time for Manchester United fans. And to sign off, I couldn't be fucking happier because you spent years lording it over everybody else, giving it to biggins, and nobody gives a fuck. Now you're all crashing and burning. So hey, take your lumps, enjoy it. Remember when you laughed at us under Mike Ashley? Well, we're laughing at you now. What are they 15th in the league now? Where are they, Mark? You've only got the top 6 there. I can't see them.
I have only got the top 6.
Binoculars out, mate. I can't see them. Where am I United in that table, mate?
I couldn't fit it all on the screen. When was the last time we could ever do that?
Manchester United is still 14th. Hang on, Manchester United are under. Hang on, so United are under West Ham. They're under Brentford, they're under Spurs, they're under Brighton, they're under Villa, they're under Fulham, they're under Bournemouth, City, Newcastle, Chelsea, Arsenal, Forest, and Liverpool. So all the way down. 2
points ahead of Crystal Palace, who've been pretty woeful for a huge chunk. They're a point behind West Ham, who have been an absolute shambles this season. So, look, we're
going to sack the manager.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, they've been absolutely dreadful. And it's wonderful to see.
Oh, it is. It's brilliant. Jack said he's like a combination of Alan Partridge and Wallace and Gromit. Oh my God, I won't slag off poor Wallace and Gromit though. Jeez, lad, I wouldn't slag him off. But yes, absolutely class. What a brilliant result for the lads. Second half, Rover look a little bit, but you know what? Fucking love it. The amount of years we've been to Old Trafford and been disappointed. It's brilliant to leave with the points and the spoils. You've seen United. Now fuck off home. That's what we'll say to them lot. Down there, and the mice as well. Up you. Have some of that. So
amen to that. I couldn't say that's us done.
Exactly. That's us done for the last live post-match of 2024. Thank you all you wonderful people in the comments all throughout the year, all you new subscribers, all the comments, all the support. It really, really means a lot to both of us. We look at the comments and do our best to reply to as many as we can. And we love it. We love that you guys love it. As Cushy said there, smash the like. Always remind me, Cushy. It's been like my wife reminded me to do something that I forgot. She told me to do 10 minutes ago. So thank you for reminding me about hitting the likes, Cushy. But yeah, we really do appreciate all the love and support and the interaction throughout the year. We are going to be back definitely with loads more content in 2025. So make sure you guys are there. We'll have a few Rumour Has It videos to close out the year. And yeah, what a great result tonight, Mark. That's us signing off. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll catch you in the next one.
Absolutely. I was trying desperately to get the 9,200.
Oh, got there. Get it.
Over that tonight. So thank you very much to those who've subscribed as well.
But super. What a great way. A great way to end the year, mate. Absolutely class. And well done, Eddie and the lads. Enjoy that trip back from Manchester. You deserve it. Fucking class. Have a good one, everyone. We'll see you later.
Take care, guys. See ya.